You guys, it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, girl, to see justice before all face to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I am coming through now. It is 3:30 something a.m. on February the 8th. Girl, you know February almost out of here. I'm about to bring you my last video of today. Girl, I don't ever know when to put the phone down. Erica ain't made me yet put it down. I remember that song. I can make you put your phone down. I can make you, I can make you, I can make you put your phone down. That was that jam. That definitely was that jam. But yeah, so anyways, coming through wee hours of the morning, I'ma record this and then let this upload while I'm asleep, girl. Hopefully you're checking out those Project Reach the Worlds. I'm so glad that I am able to bring more artwork to my channel. You know, I did start this channel back off when I jumped back on my channel in 2020 with my art. I was, that's why my name is the Draw My Life Prison Wife, because I had started out with a bang, drawing and illustrating my videos and stuff. Check out my Draw My Life playlist. Y'all can go to my playlist and see all of that. But then quickly I found that all the editing, 2 and 3 days of editing, girl, and I wasn't getting them views from it. And I was like, girl, They made me put my laptop down. I ain't put the phone down, but I put that laptop down and that Photoshop down. I was done. But now that the views are picking up, I think I might pick up some editing, some slight thumbnails and stuff like that. I might go back to that a little bit. But I was doing all kinds of stuff, all kinds of work. But I am glad to add more art to my channel because this is something I've been wanting to do from the beginning. Like, girl, it was just supposed to be that. That's going without saying. But when I started my channel, it kind of went off a different way. It started with me and Money and Marchello, like just doing different topics together. And then it ended up Money not really being there as much to do the topics because she was in college and working and all of that stuff. So we went from that note to it kind of just became me trying to focus in on Marcello's case. And it was a lot of girl goodbye. Don't nobody want to hear nothing else about Marcello Jackson, girl. But I'm sorry, I can't close my mouth until he's home. You know what I mean? Um, I kind of got to do it because it's like my only means. Like, what other way do you suggest, other than trying to break the story, you know what I mean? So it's going to be me telling that story over and over and over until somebody hears me, right? Then the channel kind of went off to me just being me, just showing all the sides of me. I'm a prison wife, but yet I'm me. I'm Keita. I'm Cadillac. And everything that comes with me, the craziness, the this and that. I'm a Gemini, so all both of us. So the channel kind of went that way. And then it went to family vlogs. And that's where I found the most strength in my channel. That was where I found that people really were joining the channel and liking the channel at that point when we were just everywhere. But that's always been me and Money. That's always been me hanging out with the kids. That's always been me taking kids places and hanging out with Money and her friends and every weekend doing stuff. Like you can actually, it's like an escape. Remember I said the escapism and prison wife life. For me, having my daughter Damania, our daughter, like that was a big escapism. Like I could be like breaking, my heart be breaking inside, but I wanna, I go out with my girl and I feel much better. Like it's always been that. I'm, glad me and my girl is spending way more time together. She keep trying to throw the baby to me. I keep saying, but I'm not that type of grandmama that be just sitting home now. Remember when I first had Money first had Princess, and Juju was saying, "Yeah, you're a grandmama now. Grandmamas live off in the woods." And they knit stuff and they real nice. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not that kind of grandmama yet. So you can't be running me that baby like grandmama still be on the go. I still got my mission, man. I gotta get some amends home. I gotta get your little granddaddy home. Yes, girl. So grandmama be working. But yeah, so anyways, I wanted to bring a story. Girl, it takes me so long to get into my video. I'm so sorry. But that's just me and how my mind gonna be set up. But I wanted to get in the story because lately the last few Project Reach the Worlds and videos that I did was reviewing Miss Rajiva the Ruler's video on snitches. And do you agree with the cliche that snitches get stitches? Are you opposed to it or do you agree with it? Yay or nay, right? And it almost came up to, I don't know why, but it brought up this thought to me. Like, yes, Marcello is in a very hot spot. It's a horrible spot. Horrible, horrible, horrible spot. But in that first video, I kind of touched on a story that I haven't really talked about, where it was a friend of mine. Um, we grew up in the church together. Um, and so it had me thinking, like, okay, so though Marcello ended up with those 30 years, right? If I'm sorry, girl, where I get 30 from? If he had 30 years, he still would be almost on his way home. No, those 40 years. I'm sorry. Marcello Jackson got 40 years, right? So though he got those 40 years, um, my friend, now I'm gonna tell you a story about two other people that I seen going to trial, going to court as the same time that Marcello was going to court, right? So there was one guy, he was an ex-boyfriend of mine. He was fine, girl. Girl, he's fine. Cute little Jamaican guy. He had the dreads. They were like a lighter skin dread. Oh, they're so cute. Anyway, so he had basically a case during the same time as Marcello. But we weren't messing with each other anymore. Once Marcello came along, that was it. Everybody, it was like to be honest, me and Marcello were friends. I had a boyfriend at the time. Um, and I kind of that's so crazy. I'll link a video in the description box telling you that whole situation. But girl, but I had a boyfriend at the time, and Marcello was not my boyfriend. But I ended up spending more time with Marcello than my boyfriend. So that's how them tables turn, right? So basically he was out the picture once Marcello came along. Everybody was out the picture once Marcello came along. So this guy, I did previously date him or whatever. So when I went to court with Marcello, I actually seen him to the courthouse, right? I think he beat his charges because I didn't see, I never seen him gone for whatever, but in the end, he ended up getting shot and he's no longer with us. He's gone, right? He did have at the time, I believe he did have a son. He left I don't know if they were together, but baby mama, I'm a baby mama, you know what I'm saying? Girlfriend, wife. I don't know what their situation is, so I don't know what to label her. But he left the mother of his child and his child behind. And he was also in court during those same times as Marcello going to court, right? And then there was the other young man that I told you about in that first video about Rajiva the ruler, where he was from church. He was one of the guys in the youth department, grew up with me. We were little kids together. Went back when I was a tomboy, climbing them trees and this and that. As he came of age and we were in our early 20s, he kind of hit that street light. But like I told you, I could tell he was like struggling. He was just at altar call. Like it was probably something he was doing that wasn't sitting right with his spirit or whatever. And I told you that story about how he and another guy tried to go rob somebody and did not know that the woman actually had a man in the car who happened to be an officer. And when the car stopped and they attempted to go and rob the woman, the man came out and, shot him and he was no longer alive. Um So he already, I believe, as well had some charges because I would see him to the courthouse. I would see him at the courthouse when I would be going with Marchello and stuff. And I believe he beat his charges as well. So now we're looking at two people that I believe beat their charges, didn't go down like Marchello, 40 years. Any Anything over 10 is a long time, but I do believe 10 years is doable. I know that's a long time to sit down, but you can get back out and have your life after you get out of prison. 20 years at this point, we're even seeing is doable because me and Marcello have done 20 years, and I would wish that this would have been it, that he would be coming home. But he has another 19 to 18 something in that realm to do, you know. So even a 20-year is doable. So they did not get those long sentences like Marcello, but look at the alternative. They're not here with us. So it all in all makes you, and I thought back many times how hard how hard it was and how difficult it was to take money to go and see her father in prison. And basically, she'd been visiting her father since she was 9 months old. 9 months old, she'd been visiting her father in prison, right? But, and how hard it was that to see her crying in school, like she couldn't get through certain activities. Like they would call me all the time, the guidance counselors, saying, "Hey, you got to come pick up because we don't know what to do for her. All she's crying is, I want my daddy, I want my daddy." And then I had the story where I told you where she tried to pretend my cousin was her father. Basically, I went to pick her up and she came running with her friends to the car and was like, see, I got a daddy. I actually do got a daddy. Come to find out the kids were kind of talking like, why doesn't Money have a dad? And I, whew, all them different things you got to go through with your child, because children get older and children start realizing. And when we would go to visitation, and I basically would have to, I would hope that she would fall asleep. We would try to put her to sleep before she would have to see him leave, like before we have to walk out those gates. I did illustrate that called Last Look Back. Your last moment once they call to end the visitation, and you just look back and you blowing kisses, you not knowing if you'll ever see your loved one again or this and that. I can link that video in the description box below. But as hard as that is, can you imagine? And I know a lot of people walk in those hard shoes of only being able to take their child to visit their father at a gravesite. They're not in a prison cell. They're not able to speak to them on the phone. They're not able to anything. So even though our situation is rather meek and bleak, whatever word you want to insert there, it's not that. And my heart goes out to any child that hurts for their father, even if you're not a child, if you had to grow up without your father, just that hurt, that I'm sorry. There's really no words to say. There's no words to say. But it had me thinking that, and we never know what could have played out and what could have happened, because possibly this prison unreasonable sentence preserved Marchello. Who knows where or how his life could have spun without him, going to prison. But we have to believe that this prison sentence in Marcello's life was for some sort of reason. I love to always listen to inspiration, and all things, all things work together. I'm about to run out of time every time, but all things work out in the end for our good. So though this feels like this don't feel good, girl, it don't feel good, but it has to be some good that comes out of it. All right, it's your girl Cadillac, gone to bed.